Today we get 5 different opportunities to look for a counter ambush. Hi friends, welcome to today's lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I'm your host, John Correa. Today we have 5 separate videos of armed robberies from Houston, Texas. Palm pepper spray has recently reformulated for even more effect when you bless the deserving with the hot sauce. Palm is what I use between a harsh word and a gun and encourage everyone to do likewise. All right, video number 1, we see our perp walk up. He's got a cell phone in his hand at a cell phone store. I'm sure you know how this one's going to go. He pulls a gun. It is an older single action only revolver and starts pointing it around at everyone and demanding that they open up the till and everybody get in the right spot, starts issuing commands, Old West style here with his old school revolver. So again, points one of the clerks there and gets her to open up the register and start bringing out some dollars and has some 20s and 10s and stuff in there. Okay, fine. Drops a couple of those, gonna go over to the other one. Now, this one's gonna go on for a little while, friends, and it gets kind of interesting here as he starts pointing a gun around at people, and now that's a customer who was just standing there, and he decided he was going to take her purse, point the gun back at the clerks and tell them, hey, you come over this way. They're being completely, compliant to what he wants. But what he wants is more money, and they don't have any more money. So he actually starts knocking over the stuff, and I think he knocked a bunch of the cash out of his hand here because he's frustrated that it doesn't have enough money in there for him. So he's gonna come over here and knock over the other register, trying to see if there's any other money underneath there. There's not. And so he's gonna continue to holler and scream at them and demand more cash, but they've given him everything that they have. Doesn't matter that he's pointing guns at them or whatever, they don't have anything more for him. So all the screaming in the world is not going to make more money appear. Eventually he is gonna get tired of yelling at them in just a second here, and I think he's gonna run off. Again, if you go read the news story, I've linked in the description. Nobody was harmed, thankfully, in this one. Second one. Same thing, cell phone store, see the guy on the right is gonna reach down into his waistband and pull up a gun and go, hey man, give me all your stuff, whatever. So as soon as he does, then he actually puts the gun back away there. You can see, he says, hey, get into the safe. Guy's like, I can't get into the safe, man. There's just no way. It's a time release, but I can't get into the register. So they got a few bucks in that. They're gonna come over to this customer and grab the customer's stuff, wallet, cash, those kinds of things. And when they're done with that, they are going to run off as well. On this next one, again, cell phone store, we actually have audio from the interior cameras. Let's listen in.
You already got it with you? Nah. I'm ready. Open it. Open it. I'm gonna pop the truck. Open it. I'm not ready. What do I say? I'm gonna back in the safe, bro. Open it. Open right now.
The camera in the back office does not have audio, and you can see here this guy has taken him into the back of the joint. And guy's just helping him with his phones. Okay, man, you want phones? Here, get a backpack out and let me put all of the company phones in there for you, all that you want. There's all of the devices that your heart desires. See him, bump him with the gun there, stick the gun right up against him, push him around, whacked him in the face with the gun a little bit there because he wants more, but the guy's like, that's all I got, man. Now this next one, this guy's at a convenience store. You're gonna see him come around the counter. You can see him reaching around towards his small of his back, and he's got a gun there, and he shows it to the clerk and then puts it back behind his back, according to the news story. And you can see he's got it in the small of his back. When she opens up the register, he is going to let it go, grab all the money out of the till and run off. This last one, this is 2 guys at an apartment leasing office, and when the leasing agent shows up, he just pulls a gun and points it right at her. Then he kind of lifts her up. She's real little, you can see that. And he puts her on the ground, puts his knee on her back, and then starts demanding money and saying, hey, let's go through the stuff, whatever. Now, on this particular one, it goes on quite a while. They didn't release all of the bits and pieces there. But you can see her just sitting there and complying, whatever, and he's going, oh, hey, man, you got to give me this stuff. There's really not a whole lot of money in here. I think they were expecting a lot of rent or those kinds of things, and she's like, no. So what's going to happen here is you're going to see the bigger guy who's got the gun in his hand. He is going to grab a hold of her and drag her towards the back office, and she's like, no, I don't want to go, so she sits down, but he pushes her into the back office where they tied her up, looked around the back office, and then thankfully ran off without hurting her any further. Let's get to lessons. Come on, Texas, what the heck, man? Good people, you got constitutional carry down there. Why aren't you defending yourselves against these people? Let's get to the lessons. In all of these, friends, we are looking for counter ambush opportunities. So this guy shows up with his, Doc Holliday special here and starts pointing it around at folks. Now, again, if you do not have attitude, skills, and plan, if you're not armed, or you're not competent, you're not ready, compliance is always your best bet. Because again, unless you have skills, you're not going to do anything in these instances. However, notice that the woman behind him right now, if she's armed, she has all day to put bullets in that guy's back and is completely justified in doing so. Again, he's not paying any attention to her right now. He does look up at her real quick, but she has all day if she wants to launch a counter ambush. So again, keep your firearm on your person. Know how to use it. Know how to get it out. Know how to employ it correctly so then that way you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Notice now he's facing this woman. So the employees have opportunities to counter ambush because he's not paying attention to them. If you've got a 1.5 to a 2-second draw to first shot, you can absolutely get a shot off here. And all of them have multiple opportunities because there are multiples of them. But again, if you don't have a firearm, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that. And so you have to just let it go. And it's always an acceptable opportunity. We use purposeful compliance to look for an opportunity for counter ambush, and it might not show up. And if it doesn't show up, okay, but notice here, he puts the gun away. Again, now I've got even more time because he doesn't have the gun in his hand, doesn't know what's going on, gets down on the ground here. So tons of opportunities. And we see these in real defensive gunfights all the time. Real armed robberies present many, many opportunities for a counter ambush. And so again, purposeful compliance means I look for my chance. I'm looking for shooter ready, stand by. And when I get my go signal, which will be a visual go signal, I have to be ready for it in the moment and know what it's going to take me to get my gun out. The same thing on this next one here. You're going to see the guy, again, pull a gun out from his waistband and point it. Not a time to get in a gunfight here, friends. You're going to get shot doing that. But recognize he immediately puts that gun away, but is still a deadly threat with that gun because he has threatened your life with it and told you that he is willing to shoot you with it. You can believe him in that, and just because he's put the gun away doesn't mean the threat's over. Same thing here, turns his back. Okay, fine, tons of opportunities for the clerk as well as for this customer if they were ready. If you're not ready, if you don't have your firearm on your person, you can do nothing here but comply and hope for the best, really. Instead, though, again, if you have your armament on you and you are ready with it, you know how to use it, you can then. This right here is what we would call a target glance. So this guy's looking around right before he draws his gun. Okay, fine, man, no problem, whatever. Let me give you this stuff. Notice he's not paying attention right now. He's paying attention to the register and not to the clerk. Great opportunity for a counter ambush if you're quick, if you got about a 1.5 draw to first shot. Notice he looks away again. You'd have to have about a 1-second draw to first shot there. Now, let's think about the other options here. The only other thing to do is if you're not armed is a disarm. Well, when are you going to be able to do that? Okay, guy's got a gun in his hand, whatever. You could have reached out in a lot of these spots and just grabbed a hold of the gun. But really, I mean, there's going to come a golden opportunity here where the guy just sticks the gun right up on his neck here. And I know I hear this all the time. I see commenters that go, well, that never happens in real life. You can't take a gun away from somebody. Well, friends, this is exactly when it does happen. One hand on the gun stuck up against your neck with your hands in a position that you could take that gun away from him if you've practiced it, if you know what disarms actually work and what are martial arts hokum. So again, simple, fast, and full throttle, following the 5Ds plus 1 of cover the distance, already covered here, then deflect, dominate, distract, disarm, disable. That's the ones that we see work in real life all the time. Simple, fast, and full throttle. If you wanted to go in that location, I think, again, him busting him in the head with the gun means that he was a deadly threat. But probably less likely to use the gun as an actual ballistic tool. Now, this dude's got his hand on a gun carried small of back. Where's our opportunity? Right there. As soon as he lets it go, again, this woman, compliance is always a strategy. If she wanted to try to disarm him, that was the time. Or if she had her own gun, there's nothing he's going to do to get to his gun faster than she can if she's quick enough and knows her go signal and is willing to go for it. Now, the other one there, as he turns away, I think there's an opportunity. Now, this last one, let's talk about this because I think this is probably the hardest one here. First of all, she's wearing a dress. Going to be difficult for her to conceal a large firearm or to be able to get a counter ambush on these guys. Though with something like a Filster Enigma or something like that, it is possible. And you got to bide your time. In that case, you probably want to roll over on your belly like she has done there. But in this particular case, again, they're both looking away from her. So there were opportunities, but multiple attackers makes an order of magnitude more difficulty. So recognize it is going to be a very difficult thing to get a gun out in the fight against two people here. Now, I also want to talk about they want to take her into a back room. I would resist being taken to a second location, but physical size matters. There's nothing she's going to do in that case. you might have to decide in that case, wait a minute, are they gonna take me back there to rape me or something like that? I gotta resist no matter what. Thankfully, they didn't in this case, but you gotta make your boundaries of when am I willing to fight no matter what the odds are. To me, being taken into a back room for a woman against two men like that is probably one of those, but you've gotta set those boundaries yourself as you seek to cover your asp.